Welcome to the word of the day. We're going to draw the word. It's a 2-letter word. What is it? I'm going to show you right now what it is. Go. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Kathy. I'm an artist, and in my word of the day videos, I like to pick a word that describes what's happening for me that day while I share the details with you. Personal details of why I chose that word, interspersed with art process talk. I'm thinking, I'm doing, and it's all the process stuff. Usually the work I'm doing here involves some sort of experimentation because, spoiler, I get bored, but I'm also a creature of habit. So there are certain materials that are going to continue to pop up over and over, such as paint pens. That's just one of them. There's a lot of other ones. But I use enough varied things and I mix things together in such a way that I hope keeps it interesting and fun and exciting for you and inspires you to try different things together. And I love mixed media. I like to mix things up. And today it's with this Rendr sketchbook. I'm so excited to use this with you guys. I just bought it today. It was an impulse buy. I have tested this product before. I would not have bought the 8x8 sketchbook if I did not love this paper and want to use it more. So I will show you my tester sketchbook today, and we're going to be throwing stuff at this. So if that sounds like fun to you, definitely stick around. I'm very much a fan of the whole wreck your sketchbook mentality. I like to throw everything at my sketchbook and see what happens, and that's exactly what we're going to do today. Let's do this. Let's not bury the lead here. Rendr sketchbook. This is the first one I got. I bought this at my trip to Blick last week when I did the Blick Report, which is up on my channel now, where I go to Blick and I check out what's new. I had never tried these before. I'd known about this for quite a while, for years, and I just have never jumped on it. I never bought it. And I was really curious, so I did. I bought one. This is a heavyweight paper. I don't know what this is made of. I can't find it on the website. The whole thing about these Rendr sketchbooks is that alcohol ink and just about anything is supposed to not seep through these pages. Let's look at the big one I just bought so we can look at all the details. Use with all media. It's a revolutionary bleed-proof paper. No show-through paper, lets you create on every single page in your drawing pad, front and back. Even solvent-based markers and acrylic washes won't bleed through. So this stuff is fun. This one was 25 bucks, 64 pages, 32 sheets. So I decided to get one of these the other day. I just wanted to test it out. And I love the size of this thing. It's really small, which, you know, you can fit it in your pocket, but it's a little small to be testing a lot of stuff out on. It's a lay flat, so if you can press this thing and get it real flat, the binding is supposed to stay intact. When I first started it, you'll see, I really didn't want to test it because I was a little nervous about testing it. It was still like that. Then I got a little braver. Then I really started to sort of press it down. I was probably on this page when I was like, you know what? I'm going to really test this thing. And it did very well. Let's look at it from this side. So it's very well made. I haven't had any problems so far of any pages coming out. Let me give you a real close-up of this binding here. So you can see the binding is intact. No problem so far. It's like made to do this. So far, you can kind of see the stitching. See that? See that? I love the feeling of drawing on it. It's really nice. It's a pleasure to use with an ink pen. I used Pentel Tradio. I used the Bravo. I used microns. I just really love the feel of drawing on this thing. So much so that even though I barely scratched the surface with the materials, like I've barely used anything on this. There's a little Tombow. There's a little brush pen too. Zebra mild liner, I think, on there. That's like a highlighter pen. So I have barely used anything on this, but I have faith. I have faith in this. And I was already feeling a little boxed in, and I really wanted to do something larger. So they only come in a few different varieties. So this one only comes in an 8x8. So I was like, I'm getting that one because I want to use a lay flat like that. I was looking through one of my older videos. It was from 2018. And I was just showing a project that I had done, and I wanted to try using that method on this paper. That way we can really test this paper out with wet and dry media. Let's go right in, shall we? Let's just stop talking and start doing artwork here. I wanted to show you some sketches that I did last night just on sticky notes. I was thinking of the word go. I have plants on the brain, and plants are growth, and I think of the word go like permission. Like, you know, in Monopoly, how you do not pass go, you do not collect $200. Or if you do pass go, that's opportunity for you. So it's like productivity mixed with enthusiasm and desire. That's how I'm feeling about the word go. If I'm thinking about the word go, it's like opportunity, being productive, free will. I don't know why I drew my O like that. I really didn't even plan on it. That was like a last minute decision. I also thought of plants because I have plants on the brain. I'm definitely thinking about spring. I'm thinking about newness, and I'm thinking about growth. I'm just taking a paintbrush to this. I'm thinking about change and new life and new opportunities and spring. I have a plant. I have a few plants, but one of my plants has been so healthy up until very recently, and it's started to really not do so well. I'm very invested in making my plant live, so I bought it a plant light, and it's doing better with the plant light. But that's one sort of daily reminder for me of growth and of change, because sometimes things happen that you just don't expect at all. And quite honestly, I never expected to be able to grow any plants at all because I was sort of a plant killer. Without meaning to be, of course. But then I got this plant. I think I got it for my birthday. And I was able to keep it alive. And it sort of turned me into a plant parent because I sort of started collecting plants after that. And I started to be able to keep them alive. And that was awesome. So I sort of became a plant mom. And this is my OG plant, first plant I've kept alive. And my little planty is faltering. What happened was I decided to trim her. She's a pothos, which is like a very standard garden variety houseplant. Anyway, her arms were getting too long, so I decided to trim off some of her growth and just propagate it into some water and let it grow some roots, and then I'm gonna plant it in another pot. But devastatingly, she started going downhill when that happened. Very strange how that happened. She just started not doing well. Then I watered her, and I overwatered her, and that really didn't help matters. So anyway, I've been having some issues with that plant, and she does seem to be getting better with this grow light, which I'm super excited about. And I totally did not mean to discuss this with you guys today at all, but there's that. That's the nature of these word of the days. I just start talking about some random things sometimes. That's how it goes. And using random colors. I had an idea to do the word go with some greenery around it because of that word go and all that word is sort of meaning to me right now, mixed with growth. So I thought putting some plants around it made a lot of sense. But right now, I'm just sort of seeing what this sketchbook can handle. I'm not really moving with much direction here, it seems. So I'm going to just goof around on this page for a little bit, and then I think I might cover it with paint again and start over. I am fully switching out this nib because I've had trouble with it, and I'm done with it. I'm not fighting with this nib anymore. Bye, nib. See you later. Go away. Ah, that's more like it. I'm going to paint over this page, and we're going to start again. Editing Kathy here. Please forgive this shine on this paper. It's going to go away in a minute or two when I turn the overhead light off. I used carbon black, gold, and acrylic paint. I got some random things here. I have some Neocolors, Uni Posca pens, a Molotow, colored pencils. We're just going to go for it here. Uh-oh, lefty problems. Uh-oh. There we go. I'm gonna fix that. Gonna fix that. There we go. May not look like much now, but you wait till I work the crap out of this thing. Go. Right. I need a green paint pen. So this is the Molotow paint pen that I used. If you're with me, if you've seen these videos before, you'll know what happened was I started using it during a video, realized it was dried up, changed the tip. Then I realized it was dried out after I put the tip in, the new tip. And then I decided a little while later, a few days later, whatever, to put some water in it. Put some water in it, use up whatever dried up, or not dried up, but whatever small amount of paint was left in there, and just use it watered down, because this paint in these Molotows is really opaque for the most part. I only have one that I think the ink is not up to par with the rest of them so much, but you know, that could also be for a bevy of reasons. Could be the type of pigment, or I don't know, who knows? Who knows? But anyway, so I thought that some lush greenery would actually make a lot of sense with the word go and how I'm thinking about this word right now. I don't think that's great. This is a Neocolor 2 crayon. And I'm not sure why I decided to pick these up for this piece, but and this is truly an experiment. I do like how the colors almost seem to match. So what I'm kind of going for is this method that I like to use with colored pencils and paint pen. I've done it in a few videos before. I will put in the description and maybe in the little eye, kind of like the LITE BRITE one that I did in a chatty sketchbook. I'll put that in the description and in the little eye too. You do it on a dark background. You take a paint pen. It's kind of tricky to draw and talk at the same time sometimes, especially to work out this design. And I'm like, what am I doing? You take your paint pen. You do similar with what I'm doing with this Neocolor, but with a colored pencil on a matte piece of paper or surface that has enough grip to grab the colored pencil. It ends up looking like a beautiful neon sign. It's kind of glowy. Having the paint, the acrylic paint, over the Rendr paper, it's not necessarily a fair assessment of the paper in terms of like the surface of the paper, but it does show that the paint goes perfectly fine over the paper and works nicely. No problem at all. So when I was trying to decide what type of paint to use to paint over this Rendr paper, I was considering using gouache because I have a lot of gouache. I haven't used it in a long time. My tubes are half dried out and I want to do a video on reconstituting gouache paint. So I have a little bit of gouache on the brain because I do love to use it, and I really need to get those tubes of gouache back in shape before because otherwise I can't use them, you know. I guess I could use them dry, but I know you can reconstitute it, but I've never done it before, and I don't actually know how effective it is. It's kind of like freezing different types of food. Some food freezes really well. You can keep it in your freezer for months, and then when you decide to cook it, it actually is fine. Sometimes it's just as good. Sometimes the texture's even improved. But with other things, it's like the opposite. And I have kind of a feeling, and I don't know from experience because I haven't done it, but I think gouache might be like the lentil, because lentils always lose something when you freeze them. Here's my test subjects. This one's kind of soft. And I shouldn't even be pulling this out because look, we're going to do a test. We're going to do a whole video on these. This is not going to survive because it's acryla. So this is dead in the water. I don't even know why I still have that one. But this one too, actually. But this one is still soft, the acryla. The acryla tubes actually, I think because they're, you know, plastic and the covers are good. But, you know, some of these are they're just a little hard. And I'm going to add some water in or some binder in with a pipette in my video, and then we're going to do a test, and we're going to, you know, wait a little while, and then we're going to see how well they reconstitute, but I haven't done that yet. So I'm just adding some water here. I just want to see how if I can get this to do anything. What's going to happen here? Anything? Probably not. It doesn't look like this is really improving things here. Yeah, okay. We're not going to go very far with that idea. I really love Neocolor 2s, as you know, because I talk about them all the time. But I will say they're not like incredible wet. Okay, they're fine wet. I mean, it's about what you would expect. They are water soluble. Great. They don't like do anything. You know, they just fade away a little bit, or they wash, you know, so you were able to mix them with other mediums and stuff, but they don't have like a gigantic pigment load that lasts when you add water. And actually, this is probably a good example to just show you, because we're working on like acrylic black paper. I mean, like, look, see, it doesn't really do much. Just sort of, you know, just sort of fades a little bit. It chunks out a little bit too, you can see, but some of those little waxy bits. But it's fine. It's just not like the ideal use for it. But on a piece of paper where there's absorbency and texture, these are real fun to use because you can just sort of sink it into the paper, and they get very, they absorb right in, and it's really nice. They're really, really nice to use in that way. So, I don't know. I highly recommend them. I love them very much. So, but right here, that's not working because the paper's still wet. It's a little slippery because it's not absorbent. When I was at the art store, I saw this other kind of paper. I took a picture of it. I would like to know if you would like to see me test that paper out, because I was very interested in using it, but I really didn't feel like jumping on that paper today because I went in there thinking about the Rendr, and I really wanted to get the Rendr. I didn't want to walk out with too many things I was excited about, because you know why? That paper's going to be there next week. It's going to be there, and I can grab it on another day. So that's what I plan to do. This morning, I watched a couple of videos on Sarah Burns' studio channel. I loved her gouache videos. They were quiet and nicely paced, and they were just sort of the perfect thing for me this morning. And really informative, like so much information. She has 2 gouache videos that I watched. The ones that I watched tested a bunch of gouache brands against each other. One video tested 8 brands of gouache that are artist quality. And then the other video tested, I think it was 3 or 4 brands of budget gouache. If you have any interest in gouache, if you like gouache and use it, or if you're curious about it, I highly recommend you check out her videos because they were really great. And her paintings are beautiful, just beautiful. And you know, sometimes when you look at things that look so minimalistic and simple, and yet there's so much skill and talent and knowledge, experience in her art, it's just really beautiful. It's just such a pleasure to watch her paint as she's testing. I just really enjoyed it. I thought it was kind of a close to perfect test video, honestly. Really, really liked it a lot. So over this week, I am working on new products for my shop, embracing sticker sheets. I've had only one thus far, and it's done pretty well. Going to be doing more sticker sheets, and I'm really excited about it because I really love them. I've only had one. And the one that I've had is a full moon sticker sheet. I just put in for a reorder of that one, and I'm also ordering a new design, but I think I'm going to put in for more designs because I'm really embracing the format. I really like it. And there is a chance that this entire video is going to be like voiceover because I think I'm kind of boring today. I hope you don't mind that I sped up the rest of this piece here. At this point in the piece, I realized I had to wrap it up soon because I was running out of time. So I pretty much powered through the rest of it without any more talking, which is kind of ironic because didn't I just say I thought I wasn't talking that much today? No, not a chance. I grabbed some tomato red acrylic paint here just to add some finishing touches along with some more paint pen dots because I'm all about the dots right now in this piece. Looking back at it now, it's all dots. You can't have too many dots, and I love the dots. In the end, I really loved this piece. I loved how using the mix of media that I used on this paper came out. It looks great. I love the texture that the acrylic paint gave the render paper. I also really love seeing the process, and that's part of the reason why I do these videos. I love seeing where your headspace is at in the beginning of a piece, and then seeing how things progress, seeing how things end up. It's just the evolution and the progression is ever fascinating. That's one of the reasons why I love doing these videos, and I love sharing that with you. So I hope you enjoyed this video today. This video is not sponsored, just felt the need to say that because I have a lot of different products in here, not sponsored at all. And everything that I have mentioned in this video, if I remember, will be in the description. If I don't remember and there's something that you need a link to, just leave a note in the comments and I will be happy to do that for you. And if you like this video, please do hit that like button and, you know, all the YouTube stuff. Thank you so much for watching today. Have a great day, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.